Go.
What's up?
Yeah.
Look this way.
Okay, 5 adults in the room, 6 adults. So these are my note cards for this week. I have 3 of them. And today's speech is using visual aids. So today I'm going to do my speech, guys, about the Thanksgiving holiday and the true meaning of what that is. The Thanksgiving holiday right around the corner. Every time that we go to the grocery store or Walmart, we're reminded with all of their ads and all of their senseless decorations that the time is coming, right? We buy way too much food, way too much candy, way too many things that we really don't even need to celebrate the holidays. Today I want to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about the history and the origin of Thanksgiving and some fun facts that you guys might not know about Thanksgiving. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, in 1620, after the early pilgrims that came to colonize America in Plymouth, Massachusetts, suffered a rough winter where they lost half of their people and crops, they decided that they needed to build a relationship with the neighboring Native American tribes. Why? Because they realized that they couldn't be there on their own. They were new to the land, they needed some help. So they became friends with the tribes, and the tribes helped them. They learned how to hunt from them, how to fish, and how to grow their own crops. So that following year, in 1621, was the first year that they had all of this food and crops, and they raised their own livestock for the first time. So they decided that they wanted to have a gathering of all the tribes around the colonies to celebrate all of their bounties. They did not, however, intend for this to become a holiday. They actually didn't even continue to celebrate it in subsequent years. This right here are some pictures of the actual menu items that were served on the first Thanksgiving. Do you guys notice that there's no turkey on here? No pumpkin pie? No mashed potatoes? That's because it wasn't on the menu. All of that stuff wasn't even served on the first actual Thanksgiving dinner, because the pumpkins and the potatoes were not even introduced in the colonies back then, so they didn't have that option. What they did have was the deer and the cranberries, the whole cranberries, all the nuts, the lobster. They had plenty of corn. In 1789, George Washington announced that each of the 13 American colonies was to celebrate a day to give thanks the last Thursday in November. It was not a national holiday, however, until Sarah Josepha Hill was inspired by a pilgrim's diary where she read all about the feast, and she figured it would be a good way to unite the 13 colonies if they had a national holiday dedicated to celebrate all of the bounties that they had received throughout the year. So, in 1863, Abraham Lincoln declared the last Thursday in November to be a national holiday. So for all those years, from 1621 to 1863, it wasn't even a real holiday. It was just something that people could do if they wanted to, but it was not recognized as a holiday. One of the silliest traditions of the 20th century is the official pardon of the turkey, which was started back in 1987 by Ronald Reagan. But he actually did it as a joke. He didn't even intend for it to be something that we now all witness done by the president, because reporters had been hounding him about whether he planned to grant the pardon to the key Iran-Contra figures like Oliver North and John Poindexter. So when they asked him that, he just replied, well, I'd much rather grant a turkey a pardon if it wasn't already on its way to the petting zoo. So he said it as a joke, but it kind of became a real thing where 2 years after that, in 1989, they actually started the whole pardon of the turkey, and now every year the president, whoever is in office, pardons 2 turkeys, sends them off to a farm in Virginia, and that's where they spend the rest of their life. Isn't that weird? I know. In the 1920s, when football was created, the holiday became a 4-day weekend holiday in an effort to help boost the crowd attendance to the games. So that's when it actually became like a 4-day thing. Thanksgiving parades soon followed, and department stores decided that the day after Thanksgiving was a good day to kick off the Christmas shopping season, now known as the infamous Black Friday. In 1939, Franklin Roosevelt moved the holiday up 1 week in efforts to give the Depression-era retailers more time to make more money for the Christmas holiday. People didn't like this too much, so a few years later, he removed it back to the last Thursday in November. At the heart and center of the Thanksgiving holiday is family. Thanksgiving is a day where we spend time with family we probably haven't seen all year, and we catch up with them. It's a day that we should use to reflect on all of the good things that our good Lord has given us throughout the year. This Thanksgiving holiday, I encourage you all to take a few minutes to reflect on all of the good things that we've received in this year and just have fun. That's it. Thank you.